Alright, so I'm Heather, also known as Codename Archangel, and this is the video that I promised I would do yesterday, that I did yesterday, but then my computer messed up and the sound was off, so I had to redo it. But the questions are the same. Um, they haven't changed. Okay, here we go. Just gonna knock these out. So the first questions were from an anonymous person, and they were, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you, and what's the thing you're most proud of? The most embarrassing that ever happened to me, like when I try to think of something off the top of my head, it's when I was in like the second or third grade and I was eating lunch. And at the time, schools didn't have those like picnic table like tables. When I went to middle school and high school, they did, where it's the long table with like the long bench. You didn't have an individual chair anymore. You just sit on the bench. Um, but in elementary school, we didn't have those, and we had these wooden chairs that had like metal edges or whatever. And I was eating lunch with my friends, and a friend of mine to my right, asked me if I would scoot closer to them. So instead of being smart and like sitting up and then scooting over the chair and then sitting back down, I held onto the edges of the chair and rocked, thinking I would just scoot over there, and I rocked too hard and I just fell backwards, and it made this really loud banging sound, and the entire cafeteria went silent and just stared at me. And I just kind of like picked my chair back up and got back in and just pretended nothing happened, even though I was completely mortified. Um, what's the thing you're most proud of? Probably any of my creative endeavors. I've been drawing since I was like 4. I've been using Photoshop since I was like 11 or 12. Um, I don't know, I feel like the only things I'm truly proud of are things I've written or artwork I've made. I'm not really proud of anything else. Okay, and now for questions from actual people, I've got the Embrace of the Goddess asked, do you have a favorite character in the Mass Effect series? Why did you choose to play Garrus as a muse? And is Garrus your first MERP blog? Um, my favorite character is probably a tie between Garrus and Shepard because, I mean, Garrus isn't like right there when you start. So you have to meet him. So I got to like Shepard first, and then met Garrus and was like, he's great. And then the more interactions I had with Garrus throughout all 3 games, the more I really liked him. So it's probably a tie between Garrus and Shepard. It's not. I don't really like one more than the other. And I feel like I can relate to both, so it's kind of a tie, I guess. Um, why did you choose to play Garrus as a muse? Well, I'm gonna like give you the short version of a long story. I was in the Garrus tag. I saw a Garrus Ask blog. Didn't even know such a thing existed on Tumblr. This was 2 years ago. I didn't know Tumblr roleplaying existed. I thought people roleplayed. I thought they did LARPing and like forum roleplays. People said they roleplayed on Neopets too, and I was just like, um, I'd never done role playing. I'd only done fan fictions and stuff, and I'd been wanting to get into the Mass Effect fan fiction type, area for quite a while, but just hadn't done it. I saw this Ask blog, and I didn't like the way they were answering questions. I thought they had Garrus's personality completely wrong, and nothing like he was in the games, nothing like he is in anything. And I thought I could do better than that if I tried. So I created this blog, decided I didn't want to just be an Ask blog. I wanted to be a roleplay blog as well, and just started following a bunch of people who were in the Mass Effect tag. Um, so I guess that's not really a why as much as like a how. But why was just because I wanted to see if I could do it, because I knew him well and I wanted to see if I could make a believable portrayal of him. Um, is Gears your first Mass Effect roleplay blog? Yes, actually, he's my first roleplay anything. I never did roleplaying before this, like I said. He's my first, but I have an OC and 2 Shepards and several other blogs that only like 2 people know about for reasons I'm not going to get into. Um, and then next, Commander Scarface asked, how do you feel about the FemShep and Garrus friendship? What are your favorite moments between them? And in particular, what do you like best about Alice and Garrus's friendship? Um, as far as the Garrus FemShep friendship, um, I just like Garrus's friendship in general. Whether you romance him or not, he's still there for you no matter what. Through all 3 games, most of the characters don't stick around, but Garrus does. He's there in 1, he's there in 2, he's there in 3. I mean, granted, everybody could have died in 2, so you might have even had him in 3, but the point is, when you do Mass Effect 2 and, Kaidan, Ashley, and Tally, are kind of bothered by the fact that you're with Cerberus, and I wasn't really paying attention to Liara's dialogue in Mass Effect 2, but I don't remember if she had a problem or not. Um, but a lot of the characters are kind of hesitant about you working with Cerberus, and Garrus is too, to some extent, but his loyalty is not to Cerberus, it's not to the Alliance, it's to you. Whether you romance him or not, he's still loyal to you. And that's something I've always appreciated about his friendship, is that he's always there for you. I've played through Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 as male Shepard, but not Mass Effect 3. So I do know what it's like to just have a platonic relationship with him, and he's just a really great friend in general. But yeah, as far as Garrus and FemShep specifically, I don't know. I think he's sweet and he's nice and he's just a great friend overall. What are your favorite moments between them? I guess probably some of my favorite moments are mostly in Mass Effect 2. It's just like his loyalty mission. The thing with Sidonius, I think you get to explore a different part of their friendship, because if you go the Paragon route and block his shot and then eventually like talk him down, it's so different. And if you had let him kill Sidonius, I don't know, I feel like it would have just made him a darker person. I mean, you can kill him, I don't care. I have killed Sidonius before, but I prefer not to, because I just don't like what it could have potentially done to Garrus, like emotionally and mentally. But I don't know, I like his loyalty mission in Mass Effect 2. It's an interesting point in their friendship, because it's kind of a tough situation. And then, in particular, what do you like about Alice and Garrus's friendship? I think that Alice and Garrus like get each other. They both have seen a lot of shit. They've both gone through a lot of horrible things, and they like literally have the scars to show for it. And they just get along really well. I've always had a great time writing with you. Never had a problem with them or had any like really unplanned awkwardness, and like not wanting to talk to you or anything. And then Shepard the Defiant said, "So are we not allowed to ask you on a date, or?" That's very cute, Robert. Well then, what do you think Garrus's favorite genre of music is? What's yours? What I think his favorite is based on the Shadow Broker file you can get on him. It talks about what's on his visor. He's got 10 songs on his visor, and there's like Expel 10 and stuff from Fleet and Flotilla and what is it, the Turian National Anthem or something. And it's like most of what's on there sounds like it could potentially be like techno, trance, or dance music. And so I've just always assumed that's the type of music he likes. I've reblogged and posted dubstep, techno, trance, dance, house, various EDM things. I feel like anything that has like a good beat, like especially dubstep, just has that like I want to fuck people up beats. You just like you listen to it, you just want to grab your gun, you want to go. So I feel like that's the type of stuff that he would listen to, and that's what he would be most interested in. As far as my favorite genre of music, I don't have a specific favorite. It kind of varies. I don't usually go for things that are popular. I'm kind of all over the place. I mean, like, you just look at my Zune, I've got classical music, but I've also got uh, 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 rock and roll and hard rock and death metal and heavy metal and black metal and techno, dance, trance, house, dubstep, um, pop rock, punk rock, pop punk, a few older country songs. I don't really like anything that came out past like 2000 as far as country goes, and very few hip hop and rap songs, because I don't like much rap after like 2002. I don't really like much rap or hip hop that's come out. But I don't really have a specific favorite genre of music at all. And then the last two questions I had were from Kai M. Shepard, and she asked, what viewpoints do you and Garrus share, and what views do you differ on? As far as things we share, I think we both feel the need for justice, that we both want people to get what they deserve. If you've done something bad, you deserve to be punished. If you've hurt someone, you deserve it. Not necessarily revenge. I mean, he has kind of a revenge type thing going on with the Sidonius thing. I don't necessarily agree in revenge with revenge so much as people getting what they deserve. And it needs to be right. I don't want people to get unnecessarily hurt physically or emotionally, or discriminated against, but they need to own up to what they've done. like criminals and stuff like that, that they deserve to be punished for their crimes. And I feel like he feels that way too. He, wants Sedonis to pay, and he wants justice in general. He was a cop, for God's sake. Um, it's just a sense of justice, I guess. You just want things to be right, even if you don't necessarily agree with it. As long as it's morally right, then it's good. I don't know. It's kind of convoluted. Um, what views do you differ on? I can't really think of too much that Garrus has said or done that I thought, wow, I don't like that at all. I really can't, because his friendship and his romance is very interesting. His beliefs in general are interesting. The way he handles situations for the most part is probably a similar way that I would, except I'm probably more shy than he is. It's harder for me to speak my mind unless it's just something that really, really, really bothers me. But that's about it as far as things that we, think and agree on. And then this last little segment, you don't have to watch if you don't want, but it's just some quick shout outs with some comments about some people that I've always liked, and, like a little quick thing about them. So the first person I'd like to mention is LT Pendejo, which is a James Vega blog, and uh, she is one of the few people that has been around since I started, really. I think her blog actually might have been around before mine or were around the same time, but all I know is that I've been in this community for 2 years on the same blog, and hardly anybody from the beginning is still there. But she still is. She's got a great James, and I love the stuff that goes on between Garrus and James, and I love talking to her out of character. We talk all the time. I think she actually just sent me a message on Skype like just this second. Well, a few minutes ago. We talk all the time. She's really great. Yeah, she's just really awesome. And then of Molded Clay, there's very few male ships that I like, and it's not anything specific to male ship. I mean, in general, I find that people tend to make their femships more creative and go for better face claims and write them better. And a lot of the male ships I've interacted with over the last 2 years have been really flat and boring and similar. I can't really, you know, separate them from other Shepherds, and I kind of get them mixed up because they're so similar. But Malcolm Shepherd is interesting, and I love riding with you, and I don't know. He's one of the very few Shepherds that I don't think is boring. There are others that I like, that I'll mention. I like Shepherd the Defiant. I like Commander Glowstick. Um, I'm blanking really hard. I like Restricted to Decaf. There are other male Shepherds I like, but yours stands out as like my favorite male Shep. Always has been and probably always will be. And then Commander Scarface, who did send me some questions, but all of her blogs are great. Um, you know, you've got too many blogs. I'm not going to name them all because you've got too many. But I think I first followed your Shepherd blog, which is the one I mentioned. But I've always liked writing with you. I think all of your blogs are great, and you write very well. And I don't know. I'm glad that you're still around. And then Spectre Wolf, I've always liked your Shepherd because you make Shane interesting, and I like the inclusion of the German and stuff. I don't know. You don't really see people speaking foreign languages that much as far as Shepherds go. Sometimes I've seen them do other languages, like for memes and stuff, and some people speak Mandalorian or whatever, which I don't even know. I think Shane does too, doesn't she? But I like Shane. I think she's interesting. I like her face claim. I like the way you write her. And I like you. You've always been really cool and really nice, and I think you're interesting. And, yeah. And then, Shepherd of Paragons, of course, is the Shepherd that I'm solo shipping with, that I've wanted to solo ship for a long time before I actually did it, but because of shit that's happened to me in the past, like 2 years ago, I was just really hesitant to go back into solo shipping because, well, the 2 times I'd done it in the past, shit got fucked up, and it just made me wish I'd never done it. But I don't know. I guess I got over it because it's kind of silly because, not everybody's the same. But she's really great. I followed her Shepherd blog before she really even had much on it. I don't even think she had pictures. I thought she might have even been a default, but I can't remember now. It's been so long ago. But she's really great, and I love writing with her, and I love shipping with her, and I'm glad that she's here and that she's my friend. And then Ariel Shepherd is probably one of the most unique Shepherds I've ever seen. I mean, she looks completely different. She's fierce. She's got an interesting personality. She's not the most friendly shepherd, which is great because a lot of them are just like, they want to hug you, and it's just like I have no problem with that, but it's nice and refreshing to find someone who isn't like that. And you're a really fantastic writer. I feel really privileged every time I ever get to interact with you because you just don't know how much, I don't know, how awesome I think you are, because you really are. And then Kai M. Shepherd has always been great. I've always liked her Shepherd and found her very interesting and multidimensional. And I've enjoyed writing with you. And, even though we don't ship anymore, interactions can still be great. Platonic Shikari and stuff is fine. And we need to do more of that soon. I should probably do something about that. And then the last two people that I wanted to mention were Quiet Paragon and Wintered Commander. Quiet Paragon's always been really sweet, and I think she's very interesting and a great writer. And I replied to your fan mail the other day, and you never responded. So either Tumblr ate it or you just didn't respond. But that's cool. Whatever. Take your time. And then Wintered Commander, I've always liked every blog ever that you've come out with. Your shepherds and stuff and your OCs and stuff are all great and interesting, and you're a great artist, and you've always been really nice to me, and you're one of the few people who's still around from the beginning, even though you kind of like sometimes you're not as active as you're just not as active sometimes. That's okay. I'm not either. But I'm just glad you're still around and that you talk to me. You talk to me out of character all the time, and it's really nice. And you're just really cool. Really cool. But anyways, I guess that's it. That's the video. Thanks for watching. And sorry I talk a lot. I talked a lot faster in this redo of the video so that it wouldn't take as long and that you wouldn't have to hear me drone on forever. But thanks again, and hopefully I can make more videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and thanks for following, and I hope that you all have a great day or night.